Hello, everybody. Hello. All right, let's do this. Oops, hang on. There we go. That's better. Now let's see. I forgot to do this before I started this live stream, so bear with me. I'm going to get all my weather sources up. I should have definitely done this before I started, but okay. If you got a weather question, put it down in the comments right now about anything regarding weather for anybody around here. Anybody in the United States, it don't matter. Hello. I don't know why this thing does this. Why it does that, phases in and out, but just bear with me for a second. Hello, Tony. Hello. Should definitely phase in. I don't know why it doesn't. But, oh well, just see, it does that all the time. It's doing it. Okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, we got a question. For this weekend, will the storms be severe in Austin, Texas? The answer to that is most likely no. It's too early to tell in some cases if that's going to be the case, but as for right now, I don't see it. It's going to be more of a minor flooding issue than anything. Maybe major if they have a heavy downpour somewhere. If one of the storms gets a heavy downpour in, it might. But that's about it. I don't think anything severe might happen. As always, these tropical storms can produce some. Well, it's not a tropical storm. I shouldn't say that. Tropical moisture may produce something. I don't know. Too early to tell. I have no idea. If it was a tropical storm, tropical storms do have a tendency to produce some minor damaging winds and some small tornadoes. But I'm not expecting a tropical storm here. I'm only expecting tropical moisture. So maybe just rain. Maybe rain and some cooler temps finally. Maybe that's about it. It's about all we're about. It's about all we're about to get. So yeah, I wouldn't suspect anything like that. I mean, it could, but it's not likely. I do apologize if this thing fades in and out all the time. I don't know why it does this. My camera does this, but do apologize for that. The timing for storms on what Tony was saying about the storms for this weekend. He didn't just say that at random. There is storms this weekend. Different places have different are forecasting differently. Not too much, but the big majority say that it starts on Saturday. Thursday and Friday is very low, 20% chance, and as the tropical moisture approaches, the percentage of it, the chance of precip, it goes up. So Saturday it goes up to about 40, and then it goes up to about 70 to 80 on Sunday, and then kind of stays there for a few days, and then it starts to drop back down on Wednesday and stuff. So it's a very good shot. It's a very good shot of multiple days of good rainfall. Very good rainfall. The only type of issue that would be severe in severe levels would probably be flooding. That's the only thing I can see at this moment, unless something changes. Unless something changes and it gets a little stronger, maybe isolated tornadoes at best. If it's a tropical storm, there might be some of those. Those tend to happen that in a tropical storm, but in tropical moisture, you don't get that. You don't get that spin like you do in a tropical storm or something like that. I mean, you could, but I'm not seeing it right now. I'm not seeing it at all right now. There is, however, thought I'd mention this. There is not tropical. There's a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm watch for western North Dakota. Western North Dakota is probably going to get fairly decent amount of severe weather, and South Dakota too. South Dakota is in a severe thunderstorm watch. Most of western South Dakota. So from like Rapid City and Pierre up to about Bismarck, and then from Bismarck northward to the Canadian border is a tornado watch. Bismarck south is severe thunderstorm watch. Bismarck north is a tornado watch. So there could be some tornadoes today in North Dakota, mainly in the north part of North Dakota, and then the south part of North Dakota, and the north part of South Dakota. So it's like a tongue twister, is going to be more of a damaging wind event. Okay, that's cool. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about I think we got Austin's down. So rainfall totals would be probably 1 to 2 inches. 1 to 2 inches at best. That's what I see right now, 1 to 2 inches. Some could get higher. Some places could get higher, and the places that get higher are more likely to be east of I-35. There is some sea breeze showers coming into the Lockhart area. There's starting to be some sea breeze showers working its way up to Lockhart from the southeast. So they're working their way into San Marcos Lockhart area. So there is some sea breeze showers and maybe it's hot outside. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but I don't know if I want to find out. Let's see, that says 95. This says 97. So it's in the upper 90s. Upper 90s is nope. It's too hot. But I know once this tropical moisture gets here, it will be definitely much cooler. A few days in the 80s. And that is cooler. That's cooler than what it's been. It's been 90s. Probably 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, it's been nothing but 90s. There's probably been, I don't know if there's been anything that's been below that for 3 weeks. It's been crazy. It's fine. So. Okay, so let's see about Elkhart's. So Elkhart. There is, wow, that's already insane. North Dakota has a storm, one storm in North Dakota, and it's already producing golf ball size hail north of Rugby. It's just by itself. The storm is just by itself. Northeast of Rugby, moving east to 30 miles per hour. That's golf ball size hail and 60 mile an hour winds. That's what they could experience in North Dakota, and that's in the tornado watch area. But that storm is by itself. It's expected to have more storms form later today. So we'll see what happens with that, with North Dakota. And by the way, you hear about that tornado that hit Wilkes Bar, is that how you pronounce it? Wilkes Bar, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's Wilkes. And then there's a line, there's a dash, and then Barre, Wilkes Bar, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm going to pronounce it as until somebody says something. They got hit by an EF2 tornado last night, and it damaged so many buildings in a shopping mall. There's been 4 injuries that I've known of, and it may go up. It may be higher than that. That's just EF2 for right now. At 130 mile per hour winds. There's 130 mile per hour winds, so it's a high-end EF2. It might be an EF3. I don't know if they're done with assessing the damage or not. But if it goes up any higher, it's going to be an EF3. If it goes up to 135, I think 135 mile per hour winds. No, I think it has to be 136. 135, 136, somewhere around there. It's got to be EF3. But they don't do that based on winds. They do it based on damage to assess the tornado's strength. It's not by winds, it's by damage. Just a little fun fact for you. When somebody says the tornado was 130 mile per hour, or 135, or even 200, they've had tornadoes that were 200 plus, and they were rated lower than EF5 because they were out in the open doing non-EF5 damage. So they didn't hit anything at the time of that intensity, so they didn't get to be EF5. They only got to be a certain intensity. If they hit only like trees and power lines and stuff, out in the wilderness, it's only EF2. That's all they can do. That's what I've heard. Pretty sure if they trees and power lines, it's EF2 is the highest they can go for trees and power lines. I might be wrong by that, but I think I've heard that before. I might be wrong, but I have no idea. I'm trying to think about that, but I can't at the moment. I don't know why. But I've heard that before. That might be but that was a long time ago. I don't know if that's still the same today. No, I have no idea. Lots of storms in Canada too. Oh, excuse me. Canada's got some storms today too. Canada, North Dakota. That on the North Dakota and Manitoba. Is that how you pronounce it? Manitoba and Sacagawea? No, I'm sorry, that's not it. I don't know. Manitoba. I know it's Manitoba. I don't even know what Canada's. I know they're not counties. I forget what they're called in Canada. If somebody knows what they're called, please tell me, because I can never remember Canada. I know Louisiana has parishes, but what is Canada's called? I can't remember. I can't remember. I probably never going to remember what that's called. But oh well. But anyways, moving on. Let's see what do we got. Saturday. Let's see. I'm sorry. This is Elkhart. I'm going to Elkhart this time. Let's start Elkhart real quick. Elkhart, you guys are having a warming trend. You're about to get really warm really fast. You're already warm, 87. It's about to go higher. It's about to go lower 90s, maybe mid 90s if you're just that lucky. Maybe mid 90s. I know it's the average around here is 80 degree. Elkhart's average is 80 for this time of year. I'm looking at it right now. It's supposed to be 80. So, yeah, you're way above average. Lower to mid 90s. That's too hot. That's way too hot. So yeah, you got some storms coming in on Saturday. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I'm bored, yet I'm tired. I haven't really had much to do today, but so yeah, so we got you got another day of partly cloudy skies on Friday, 87, 88 on Saturday with some storms, mainly in the PM, but there could be some AM storms too. It's actually stated that it's probably a chance of both, but they're very small chances. They're not too high, and they're in a small gap. Very small gap. So it may be one of those deals where it just pops up and then leaves, which I don't know. There's no severe weather for you, I don't think, on Saturday. To my knowledge, I don't think there is. If this thing would load, I would. Yeah, you have a chance. You have a chance of a storm. Well, it states here that you have a chance of a storm, kind of every day, but you're like on the edge of that. You don't really have a huge chance. Weather Underground states something different from the National Weather Service. And Sunday's weird, 93 and partly cloudy, but there's those small gaps again where they say there could be a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Monday's a little bit different. Monday, there could be a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, mainly in the AM for Monday, and 92. It'll be very hot. Yeah, the lowest chance of storms during the daytime is like 7 o'clock. So it's really hot part of the day. But 10 to 3 a.m., there is a 60% chance of some storms. So there could be some storms overnight on Monday. And looks like there could be a cold front. And it will drop your temperatures back to about normal. Lower 80s, upper 70s for Tuesday into Wednesday. It'll be cloudy on Tuesday, but then Wednesday's partly cloudy. So that's about it. It's about the 5 days, about 5 days for forecasting. Yeah, that's about it. So not too much. There's a lot more rain going on. And to put it in perspective, Sunday and Monday, the temperatures are actually lower in Austin, Texas than they will be in Elkhart. So prepare for that. Elkhart, you have really warm temperatures on the way. I mean, you're going to be higher temps on Sunday and Monday than Austin will be. So that's something very interesting. Very interesting. But you'll have probably a lot of thunderstorms in the afternoon on Sunday and Monday. And I'm not saying that there won't be severe storms. It's just not predicted at this time for either Elkhart or Austin. But I've seen this before, last minute, they go into marginal, slight, even enhanced risk, like only 1 or 2 days out at last minute. So I can't be for certain that this stays this way. But for right now, I'm not seeing anything, not any concern for severe weather on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, any of those days for either Elkhart or Austin. Not seeing it. But I will post on Facebook. If there is changes. And I will try to do a video about it. There's no guarantees I'll get a video in, but I will try to do a video as hard as. If it's something really I know a lot of people probably watch my videos from Facebook. because I have a lot more Facebook people than subscribers on YouTube. So not many people on YouTube watch me. They tend to watch. Well, I mean, they watch my YouTube video, but mostly it's my Facebook friends or something like that that watch it. So yes, that's about it. And to recap, there is some small development in Lockhart, San Marcos, which is just south of Austin. Probably about 30-minute drive from South Austin to San Marcos. About 30 minutes. These little pop-up showers and storms are very slow. They are not very fast at all, so it may take an hour before they actually reach Austin, if they reach Austin. And this will be the trend for many days to come, all the way until probably the end of next week. Every single day until probably the end of next week, there's some chance of showers and storms. It may be small, but they're always going to come from the Gulf of Mexico. It's these sea breeze showers, and once more of these approach us, and the moisture gets closer to Texas, excuse me, those chances of rain will increase, and the coverage of storms will also increase. It will increase throughout the weekend and into next week. It will definitely increase for sure. Yeah, but not too much. Just some sea breeze showers, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm. Not too much. I've seen some 30 to 40 miles per hour wind, 30, 40 mile per hour wind and dime-sized hail at best in these little pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And that's what the bigger ones that form, some dime-sized hail and 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, but that's not really that significant. I mean, that's pretty manageable. It's like, not really. Unless it's like trash day, then those winds probably will throw around your garbage can, or recycling bin or whatever, and maybe some light stuff in your yard, but otherwise I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Not too concerned. It's not until you get some 60 mile per hour winds and maybe some quarter-size hail where you have to be a bit more concerned about it. Some damage to windshields and cars, and a little bit, maybe some bigger limbs falling on power lines and fences maybe, or something. And of course it always lightnings pretty much almost every time that we get a storm like this. Storms like these anyway, so shouldn't really be outside anyway, unless you're me. I'm just kidding. No, not me. But I mean, I'm know more of the safety tips than most people. So lightning can strike you even if you are 10 to 15 miles away from a storm itself. So what you got to do is, when you hear thunder, you go indoors. There's no contest about that. You hear thunder, that means lightning can strike you. It's a really good indicator. When you start hearing thunder, lightning can strike you, even if the storm is very far away, 10 to 15 miles or something like that. You could probably still hear thunder outside. Not all the time, but sometimes. So yeah, nothing much. Just some little sea breeze showers and storms. Nothing too significant at the moment. I mean, we might get a little bit of something, but I haven't seen anything in a while, so I have no idea. Okay, so and I better do Albuquerque. Albuquerque weather. So Albuquerque weather, you got hot temperatures. That's probably the number one thing. It's 102 degrees, and that's something else. 102. But that's not why you have a special statement. You have a special statement because Tropical Storm Bud, this is the other tropical moisture coming into the United States. You got one that's in the Gulf, and then there's one that's in the Eastern Pacific, kind of like it's like right next to Mexico on the western Mexico coast. This tropical storm Bud will obviously be really weak by the time it gets to Albuquerque. It won't be anywhere near that status, but it will bring the heavy rain. There will be some moderate to heavy rainfall that is likely to move into Albuquerque and many places in New Mexico. New Mexico is supposed to get hit dead on with tropical storm Bud's moisture and rainfall rates. So be prepared that this will happen Friday night through Saturday night. This is when the moisture will arrive from Friday night to Saturday night. And because you've been so dry and you have a lot of wildfires, there could be a lot of where the burn scars have been. That would be the greatest threat for flash flooding, mudslides, rock slides, debris flows, things like that. It could be very dangerous. Especially if you get those moderate to heavy downpours in a place that has been dry and had just recent wildfires in the area and stuff like that. Mudslides, rock slides, debris flows, things like that could be happening in New Mexico this weekend. So you want to be very, very aware of flash flooding, mudslides, rock slides, and debris flows. If your area is prone to that, especially if it's dry, you would really want to pay attention real closely to this weekend. And this 102-degree heat will be gone by the time this moisture arrives. That 102-degree heat is going to be gone. No more. In fact, you'll be dropping to 80 on Saturday, Albuquerque. No more hundreds for you. It'll be 80 on Saturday with the thunderstorms. So we'll feel, I guess, more comfortable. I know your average is in the upper 80s at this time of year, but you'll definitely be going back to average by the weekend, and below average, in fact. No more hundreds. No more hundreds anymore. So yeah, that's about it. So everybody's got something. We all got rain this weekend. All different times, but we all do. How much rain? Elkhart, you're going to get the least, probably of the three. Out of Austin, Albuquerque, and Elkhart, Elkhart's going to get the least. You're only going to get some pop-up showers and thunderstorms that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anything real significant at all. Not at all. Austin, you'll have plenty of rain. There might be a day or two where they consider it a washout, and probably a chance of rain probably every single day for the next 7 days. So yeah, lots of rain there. Albuquerque is a little different. You're getting your rain on one day, a lot of rain on one day, and that could be more dangerous than Austin will get, because we're getting ours in about the bulk of our rain comes in 3 or 4 day span. And even if we get 3 or 4 inches in a 3-day span, 3 or 4 inches doesn't really cause too much flooding. But at one time, 4 inches in one day, that's a little bit significant. That can really cause some flash flooding, especially since it's been drier in New Mexico than it has been in Austin. Austin's been dry and hot, believe me, don't get me wrong. But New Mexico has had a lot of wildfires, and it's a lot drier. So yeah, just make sure about those rock slides and stuff, mudslides, any loose material, any loose ground clutter, mudslides, something like that, and flooding. Flooding is probably number one, if I had to say anything. And then after the flooding, that's when those slides come in. So yeah, just be aware this weekend. I don't think there will be too much severe weather. If there is severe weather, I don't think it'll be too much. It's not going to be a huge event where it's like a moderate or high risk. I don't see that happening. That is unlikely. something like that. Maybe a marginal to slight risk for one of the areas, but I don't think it'll be higher than slight. Not higher than slight risk. But that's about it. That's all I can think of. So if anybody has any questions, you put it in this chat. And if this chat is over and you're still on YouTube, you can just put it in the YouTube comment section, or you could put it on my Facebook, wherever you find it. Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Excuse me. Wherever you're finding this video. Just put it in the comments and I'll try to reply back to it. But yeah, thank you for watching. I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to cover in terms of weather for all those places. And if you want your town covered and you didn't get covered today, if you're like in with like 10 or 15 miles of a place that I already mentioned, like if you're in Round Rock, near Austin, Texas, if you're like in Round Rock, Cedar Park, or if you're in like South Bend or something, I mean, you're kind of close to that. So it's kind of like going to be I mean, I guess it's not going to be the exact same weather, but it's going to be similar, very similarly close to it. So it's probably not best that you ask, oh, what's South Bend's weather going to be? Or what's Round Rock's? I mean, you can. You're fine. It's just going to probably be the same thing as Austin because they're so close, probably like 10 or 15 miles away. They're just that close together. So it's not really going to make a whole lot of difference whether you do that one or Elkhart. So it doesn't need to be really said. But if you're in some other city or some other state that's like 50 or 100 miles away or something like that, that can really make a difference. Something, even if it's only 25 miles away, it could still make a difference. But like 10 or 15 miles, probably not. Probably not. Unless it's like a snow band, then it might. But it's June. So you're probably not going to get a snow ban in June. Although I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. And I hope that we get a